Justice Sinclair clearly knew that using the term cultural genocide, as he did in our interview last night, would not go unnoticed, but would purposely elicit strong emotion and reaction and carry heavy implications. The CBC's Duncan McHugh looked at that angle today. Duncan.
Peter, it's a controversial term, but the Truth and Reconciliation Commissioner very deliberately used the G word today.
What took place in residential schools amounts to nothing short of cultural genocide.
As Canadians gathered to witness the TRC deliver its report, the phrase cultural genocide stood out for many, from mayors.
Do you think that term cultural genocide needs to be acknowledged formally in Canada?
Well, I think there certainly needs to be more done by the federal government at this point.
To bankers.
I think it's a strong word, but a word that forces us to come to a reckoning of what happened.
To chiefs.
The attempted annihilation of our culture in order to access resources and wealth by displacing and marginalizing Indigenous peoples of this land. I don't know what else to call it other than genocide.
Genocide, commonly associated with historic atrocities such as the Holocaust during the Second World War, or more recent horrors such as the mass slaughter of Tutsis in Rwanda. But to call Canada's residential school policy cultural genocide is curious, as there's no meaning for that term in international law. The criteria for genocide in the United Nations Genocide Convention includes causing serious bodily or mental harm to a group of people, or forcibly transferring children from one group to another group, but no mention of cultural genocide. That makes the precise definition unclear and cause for debate.
In unmarked graves.
This Holocaust survivor abhors what happened at residential schools, but isn't sure about naming it genocide.
In a way, there's something to it. But I don't like to use the word genocide. I experience genocide.
This expert in Indigenous law says the TRC may be laying groundwork for future court actions.
It acknowledges an intention to be able to get rid of a way of life. And that is something that's not really been fully articulated by the Canadian government, by the courts, by Parliament.
Sure enough, in Parliament today,
does the Prime Minister agree with Justice Sinclair and the Truth and Reconciliation Commission that the residential school program was nothing short of cultural genocide?
The Prime Minister did not.
This was a policy of forced assimilation.
Whether or not the term cultural genocide has any legal weight, it carries moral and political implications, and it certainly ups the ante on the Harper government that merely apologizing for residential schools wasn't enough. Peter?
All right, Duncan, thank you.